Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I really do apologize. I had to cut that other one off because I had to go deal with my truck. But hey, I'm back. Let's go ahead and keep this going from right now. Let's go.
Gypsy.
You know what? I missed a little bit of this. I'm going to go ahead and jump back.
After almost 2 hours of lies, Detective Stan Hancock was finally, slowly getting the truth out of Gypsy. That it was then, after Cinderella, that the plan to murder her mother began to take shape.
After Cinderella? Well, hold on. I missed Cinderella too. Hold on.
Right? She's never even been kissed.
Whoa, hold on. Okay.
The Gypsy asked a boy,
like a prisoner, basically.
I missed a lot of this, so we're going to go ahead and jump back.
As a teenager with dyed hair, Gypsy's mother locked her in a backyard shed when she learned her daughter was messaging with boys online.
Whoa! Her mom locked her in a backyard shed? What?
In this shed is nothing except for a toddler bed. According to Gypsy, she was told that, if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, I'll put you in there and you'll never come out again. Gypsy wanted freedom. She didn't want to be under her mom's thumb
what's up, guys?
anymore.
It was when the premiere date for the Disney film Cinderella was announced that Gypsy asked a boy she had met on a Christian dating site to come to Springfield, Nicholas Godejohn.
I invited him to come in March to see Cinderella with me.
She was dressed to the nines as Cinderella. She had the big wig on, the big huge blue dress on. So she looked like a fairy tale princess, and he's kind of dressed like Prince Charming.
Unfortunately, it hurt my mom's feelings because I paid more attention to him than her.
Okay.
And anyway, she didn't like him from then on.
Somehow Gypsy convinces her mom she needs to go to the restroom, and so she wheels herself out, and then Nick leaves the theater as well, and they meet up in the bathroom, the handicapped bathroom, and that is where they had
Whoa!
for the very first time.
Whoa! Hold on.
Right? She's never even been kissed by a boy at this point, and her first experience with any type of physical contact with another human is, sex in a bathroom in a movie.
Goodness gracious!
Cinderella.
He said that it's us against the world, and that he's gonna protect me no matter what, and that we were gonna get married and everything.
Okay, oh, wow.
So now, after almost 2 hours of lies, Detective Stan Hancock was finally, slowly getting the truth out of Gypsy. That it was then, after Cinderella, that the plan to murder her mother began to take shape.
Why did Nick hurt her? Now's the time to be truthful, sweetheart. No more lies.
The only reason I could think is because he wanted me to, so.
Okay.
Because my mom kept making me
Sure she did. She didn't like Nick. She didn't want her little baby girl. Sure she did. She didn't like Nick. She didn't want her little baby girl to grow up.
Aww.
She kept her little baby girl young, didn't she?
The truth of it really began.
By the way, I'm sure we will get more into this, but the mom was a psychopath who abused and manipulated her child, and also abused and manipulated the entire community around her. I don't know if you guys have listened. I did a first part, but then had to go deal with some car issues. Truck's fixed. Fantastic. Did you see the video of Alex from the Mr. Beast's grocery store video not getting the money? I did see that. I need to do a video on that. But yeah, I did see that. Thank you for reminding me about... Dude, I was supposed to do it. Guys, I've been busy. My kids are out right now. It's New Year's. I'm a dad. I spend time with my kids. So she had so much facts. There was so much that happened to this person. It's terrible. But anyway, we're going to get into that. But I'll definitely... Thank you so much, Bryson, for telling me that. I watched that video, by the way. I watched that.
And to come out. Detective Hancock.
I think he did get his money, by the way. And he did like a grocery haul after he did get his money. But he didn't get his money until way later. Much like the whole Squid Games thing with Netflix.
Hancock did a great job of sort of establishing a rapport with her and not...
Yeah, Blaine, I just got my truck back. I'm so sorry.
being judgmental, not being aggressive, because those are the types of things that can cause someone to shut down and not provide information.
I'm sorry that I lied to you from the beginning. I'll tell you the truth all now.
Okay, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I love him so much, but maybe he can give me a help now.
Okay.
Finally, what you said. He killed my mom.
She finally said it.
He killed my mom.
And then Gypsy began to describe how she helped Nicholas sneak into her house late that night, handing him a knife she had stolen for him at Walmart.
Whoa! Did you see that? Hold on, let's go back. What is that? That looks like a fillet knife. Yeah, that's what you use on like fish, I think. It doesn't look all that big. And you know, this back part here, the back part is to like cut into skin. It actually looks like something that I would use to skin deer with. Oh, you skin deer. Canceled. Well, yeah, I've skinned deer. I've eaten deer, too. That same deer that I skinned, eaten it. These people, man. Oh, what's up, Gabriel? All right, let's keep going.
I got up to use the restroom. And at that point, he put me in the bathroom. And he had locked the door.
Okay.
And he went to my mom's room. And I heard her cry. I heard him scream for my name.
You heard your mom crying. You heard your mom crying. You heard your mom calling out your name.
She
was screaming. Can you describe her screaming to me? No, that's an awkward question.
Startled.
Okay.
And then she kept screaming louder.
Facts. We keep them maintained.
And then she had said, Gypsy. I think I knew what he was doing.
At that point, you knew what he was doing.
I knew what he was doing.
And your mom was hollering at you for you.
But I was too afraid to go because I was afraid he'd do the same to me.
And then she said, into her bedroom.
In shock. And then he took me to my bedroom. And he made me take off all my toys off the bed.
So it made you take all your toys off your bed. Okay.
He raped me.
And he raped you.
Whoa! Okay, hold on. Yeah, this sounds like she totally manipulated this guy into ending the mom and then getting away with it. This 100% sounds like he manipulated, or she manipulated him into doing this. Listen, I can't stand the mom. The mom is Cap. What's Cap? Anyway, I can't stand the mom. The mom got what she deserved. But she should have gone to prison. Like, should her life have been ended? No, she should have went and paid for her crimes in prison. Much like Gypsy Rose did. Well, her mom hurt her for years. She wanted and ways out. Yeah, so the thing is that she was trapped. She was physically trapped. So she convinced this guy to go and unalive Godejohn, whatever his name is, to unalive the mom. And then she's trying to pin the whole thing on the boy. All of it. Instead of like both standing up for it.
But Detective Hancock was skeptical, taking photos to document what Gypsy said were the bruises she suffered at the hands of Nicholas Godejohn. As babyish as she sounded and often acted, Detective
Yeah, the guy got first degree and 25 to life. She only got less than 10. Because, she didn't do anything in there. And she also said that she had more freedom inside the jail than she ever did with her mom.
Hancock realized he was talking with a young woman who was a practiced liar.
Yep.
She's calculating. She is manipulative. And these are all things that are created by what her mother taught her and did.
I'm asking you to direct him straight. You don't think he's going to tell me that you had anything to do with your mom's killing? And this is the time to be honest, because like I told you, walk out that door.
He and a romantic notion of us doing everything together as a team, but I wanted my mom and him to...
So did you kill your mom?
No, sir.
Did you help
No, sir.
Nicholas kill your mom?
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, she did. She let him in. She gave him the fillet knife that they'd stole from Walmart. Did they not have any weapons at the house? That's very interesting to me. And then he did that to the mom as she was sleeping.
Did you have knowledge that Nicholas was going to kill your mom before he did it?
Yes, sir.
She truly believed she was going to get up and walk back out of there.
But down the hall, her boyfriend Nicholas Godejohn was about to tell a much different story.
I don't think we're ever going to get the full story from either one of them as to what actually went down.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Nicholas Godejohn, two very challenged people. Gypsy trying to break away from a cruel mother.
Absolutely. She was a victim. I mean, all the way through, she is a victim.
Nicholas, socially awkward, but looking for love.
We came to learn he did have autism, in that he was living at home with his parents and was primarily had this entire life and personality that was lived exclusively online.
And as they went into hiding after the murder of Gypsy's mother, staying in this motel, waiting for a bus to take them to his home in Wisconsin, the two lovebirds cooked up a plan to avoid getting caught.
Mr. Godejohn thought he was going to get away with it. They had planned to mail the murder weapon and a glove from Springfield back to Mr. Godejohn's house prior to getting on the bus. Before they ultimately left, they had come up with a pre-planned story for what to say should they be caught and asked what happened.
Hello. You've been here a long time waiting on me to get here?
Oh my gosh, have I ever done?
It did not take long for Mr. Godejohn to abandon the pre-planned story that he just sort of stole Gypsy in the middle of the night.
Detective Angela Mahoney played on the young man's feelings for Gypsy to get him to implicate her.
And you love her?
Oh, do I ever?
You love her a lot?
I was bummed my eyes out waiting for this moment to where I can talk to you.
Okay.
Because I was so worried about her.
So, do you want to do the right thing by Gypsy if you love her?
No, the truth is I worship her. So
I know you
there's
do.
no way I wouldn't do it wrong.
I know.
I would thank for her.
I know you do. I believe you do. But this is the point where you're going to prove whether you do or not, okay? Me and you talk.
Okay.
Okay? Because it's not fair. It's not fair to Gypsy for her to be honest and you to lie. Okay? So what I want to know is can you tell me this first? Did Gypsy know that you were going to kill her mother?
Honestly, she asked me to.
Okay. So Gypsy knew you were going to do it because Gypsy asked you to.
Yes.
Why did she ask you to do that?
Because she felt it was her only way to be with me.
And then really from there on, he is very forthright and very detailed in what actually happened.
And then the truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually...
Dude, I feel bad for him too. He was clearly manipulated into this. She was clearly manipulative, but she's also been manipulated her whole life. She knew that the abuse wouldn't stop unless her mom disappeared. So she found this guy, who, I don't know if she actually cared about or not. We don't know. But then she manipulated this guy into doing that. because she had no other way out. He was just following his feelings, and then she's like, "Hey, you gotta get rid of him." And he's all like, like he doesn't want to, but he cares about the girl. Did she actually? And who's to blame? Exactly. I think it all stems from the mom. The mom made the perfect unaliver in her daughter, Gypsy. But it was all the mom. She was a manipulative monster, abusive monster who was unaliving her daughter slowly. And then that bled off into her daughter reaching out to this guy and manipulating him. So, yeah. But this guy's stuck in jail for 25 to life. Or he's got a life sentence, no parole. This guy.
Stab her. I will make it.
Facts, Blaine. Facts. The mom did it to herself. Facts.
Okay.
Filling in the grisly details of what happened that night in Dee Dee's bedroom as he stabbed her.
Do you know how many times you stabbed her?
4.
You stabbed her 4?
Yeah, 4 times.
The autopsy of Dee Dee Blanchard would show she was actually stabbed 17 times.
Jeez. 17 times. And they were talking about this earlier, that the head was almost coming off. Oh my gosh.
Her head nearly severed.
And then she called up for Gypsy, but Gypsy didn't do anything.
Okay. She hollered for Gypsy.
Yes.
Did she holler for Gypsy once, twice, 5 times?
3 times.
3 times? And what was she saying? Can you tell me how she said it?
She pretty much yelped it.
Yelped it?
And she was like, Gypsy!
Okay.
Yeah, she was loud.
And what did you do when she did that?
It didn't stop me from keep on going.
Okay. You just kept stabbing her?
I'm not too sure, the preacher. I would actually have to look at the like the forensics picture on it, or maybe the coroner's picture on it, if there is a picture on it. I don't know. But yeah, for the neck to be coming off, or for the head to be coming off, it would have to be deep and around the upper spine. If not it would have to be around the neck, or the bottom part of the neck, or in the back.
Yeah.
And then they begin
But it wasn't 4 times, it was 17 times. So
a cleanup procedure where actually he asks Gypsy to clean
that is a great question. Why lie about the unaliving when he said he unalived her? And who knows? Maybe he thought he would get more sympathy if he just said 4 instead of 17. Who knows what goes through a person that's been put in this situation? I can't tell you. I don't know what that, because I've never done that. You know, I've never been in that situation. But besides, this guy is also, remember, autistic. So who knows? You know, and he was deeply in love with this girl. So, you know, who knows? But he was definitely manipulated into this. And he got the biggest shaft of all.
naked. That was his request because that was something that turned him on, cleaning up this murder scene while she's naked.
And then, she wanted to have sex with me, so I did.
Okay. She wanted to have sex with you?
Yes.
Okay.
But down the hall, Gypsy had already told detectives that Nicholas forced himself on her.
Yep.
He raped me.
And he raped you.
And detectives soon recognized that Nicholas Godejohn had serious issues. That he had 2 people inside his head, one good, one evil.
The one who actually did all this, the thing is, the good side of me, originally refused to do it.
Oh, wait a minute. He's bipolar? Oh! Or is he schizophrenic?
Okay.
And that's the reason why it was instant that it happened right away.
Okay.
Because my evil side is what actually did it.
Okay.
An evil side with a name, Victor.
So Victor
Oh.
is one of the characters that Nicholas made up. He's his evil side, and he claims that he is a 500-year-old vampire who enjoys killing.
I have
You just
one-
got angry.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but Victor is this 500-year-old vampire persona that lives in... Okay, like, people with split personality or schizophrenia, schizo means split, they literally live these different things. It's no longer this person in charge, it's this. And I guess this guy has that. So the Victor part was a vampire that, like, just, cut the mom to pieces. So yeah, he might have forced himself on her in this Victor persona. So, wow, okay. Huh. Okay, yeah, that's a different perspective now that schizophrenia has been involved here.
More than one person inside me. There's actually multiple personalities of myself.
Have you been diagnosed with that?
I probably should be.
Well, hold on. The all-seeing brown eye one, that's a hilarious name, by the way. No, you can't say he was shafted because he unalived and she didn't. Yeah, but he was coerced into doing it. He unalived somebody that did nothing to him. Right. Right. But she let him in. She handed him a weapon. He did it. And she told, like, it comes up later. She's like, yeah, this was my plan. I told him to do this. So he's not completely without guilt in this situation. Right, exactly. How innocent is he if he's got Victor inside of him? You know?
Be diagnosed with it because it happens. The thing is, I used to take medication because I used to hear voices in my head.
Right. Well, you seem like a pretty honorable person, and you love Gypsy, so, I mean...
Well, that's the thing. I admitted to it. The thing is, me and Gypsy have cried multiple times.
Together over this?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told her this will haunt me for the rest of my life because it's the truth. It will.
Breaking news now, 2 people charged in the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, including her daughter Gypsy and her boyfriend Nicholas Godejohn. Both are now in custody.
They had solved the case. Both Gypsy and Nicholas were charged with first-degree murder. But would a jury convict a young woman whose mother had so abused her over the years? Would a jury convict a young man on the autism spectrum who thought he was Prince Charming rescuing Cinderella?
Yeah, but he wasn't just Prince Charming. He was also Victor, the 500-year-old vampire unaliver. It's one thing to be, okay, like, if you're good all the time, that's great. But if you're good all the time and then one time you go and unalive somebody because you're 500-year-old Victor vampire, that's a problem.
This is a tragic event surrounded by mystery and public deception.
Gypsy fell through every crack possible. The family was suspicious. They knew things were wrong, and they did nothing. Doctors knew things were wrong, and they did nothing.
As the sad tale of Gypsy Blanchard's childhood abuse became widely known,
it is just horrifying to think that this could go on for 23 years.
prosecutors in Missouri had a big decision to make about the 2 suspects sitting in the Greene County, Missouri jail.
You have the person, someone who actually physically carried out the murder that we have to charge.
Nicholas Godejohn.
But then also a co-participant that may have not, in this case, physically wielded the knife.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
You keep saying he did it for no reason. I can't. I think you're just a troll. But let's feed into this. She has no choice. So yes, they should have different sentences. They did have different sentences. And as a lawyer, I could say she might have never unalived anyone. You can't even spell lawyer correctly. What are you talking about? You're a lawyer. All right, let's check this out. 4 followers, and you're a lawyer on TikTok? Wow. Not really. He had no reason. He didn't know her. And you can't even spell no correctly. How old are you? I'm not a lawyer. I know you're not. And as a lawyer, I could say, you're not a lawyer, though. What? Okay, I'm going to stop paying attention to the troll comments, guys.
But was just as involved in the murder that we also had to charge.
But given all that Gypsy had been through at the hands of a cruel and abusive mother, prosecutors feared a jury might have excused what she did.
Due to that long-term abuse that she had already suffered, that ultimately she ended up pleading to second-degree murder with a 10-year sentence in prison.
Oh, I did,
The
yeah.
possibility of parole in just a few years. But there was no talk of going that easy on Nicholas Godejohn, even though a first-degree murder charge was going to be difficult to prove.
There was the misconception that what Mr. Godejohn did was sort of this act of chivalry, that he did it to save Gypsy from this situation. That was going to be a challenge to overcome. And then ultimately overcoming the defense, the fact that Mr. Godejohn did have autism.
May it please the court.
Yes.
Outside of Claudine Blanchard's bedroom door stood the defendant, dressed in all black, wearing blue latex gloves, holding a knife. For the defendant, he was in love with Gypsy Blanchard, Claudine's daughter. And as he stood there,
Are you saying that they got hit with another earthquake? Or the 40 earthquakes that they got hit with, gosh, it would have been around 1 a.m. 2 a.m. our time. Because I've already done a video on that. I did a video on that at 8 this morning.
there, the only thing that stood
And please,
him being
everyone, please be praying for Japan.
with Gypsy was Claudine.
The key for the prosecution was to show that Godejohn, looking much heavier since his arrest, had the mental capacity to make his own decisions, autism or not.
And so it really came down to this this autism that Mr. Godejohn had.
He had two thoughts. A benevolent thought that he described as an angel on one shoulder that said, just take Gypsy and run. And a malevolent thought, a devil on the other shoulder that said, the bitch is dead. Yes, this was Gypsy's idea, but the defendant on June 10th was ready to kill.
And prosecutor Nathan Shetman showed the jury some of the text messages that Nicholas sent to Gypsy. Is your mom a light sleeper? It's my evil side doing it. He won't mess up because he enjoys killing.
And these texts show...
Wow, goodness gracious. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to say something, and I submit to you. Has he done this before? Has he done this before? Because, like, it sounds like, you know, like, that side of me enjoys... What else has he unalived? That's my question.
He was enjoying it. He was looking forward to it. He was excited about it.
As the prosecutor made the case against him, Nicholas Godejohn seemed disengaged, one of the known affects of autism.
You could tell just the way that he was, just not very socialized, just kind of, you know, odd behaviors, just sitting, slouching down in his seat and just, you know, looking around in sort of an odd manner.
In his opening statement, Godejohn's lawyer, Andrew Mead, portrayed his client as someone easy to manipulate.
Gypsy knew there was only one way she was going to be able to spend a life with Nick. There was only one way to get out from under the grasp of her mother, and that was to kill her mother. Nick?
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome back, I guess. And you say he had a reason. Please let me know that reason, because Gypsy had a reason. Right. Have you not paid attention? By the way, I love troll commenters, and this person is definitely a troll commenter. Before you leave, because I'm going to go ahead and mute you again, he said that he was in love with her. That's why he did it. He wanted to free her so that they could be together. And they literally said that here. He said that here. Please pay attention. And let me go ahead and just mute you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Was happy to do whatever Gypsy wanted. He was always compliant. You're going to hear testimony about Nick's autism. He has a low IQ. He suffers cognitive disabilities. And in the end, folks, you're going to understand the dynamics of this case, that Nick wasn't able to formulate the necessary mental state to commit murder in the first degree.
But right away, the jury saw the video of Godejohn being questioned by Detective Angela Mahoney and admitting to the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard.
And then the truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
I know. Okay.
On cross-examination, Godejohn's lawyers tried to suggest Detective Mahoney had taken advantage of him.
Did you know that he was on the autism spectrum?
No, sir.
Had you received any kind of information that he was on the autism spectrum?
No, sir.
Now, this particular interview took place right after midnight.
Yes, sir.
And he seemed tired to you, is that correct?
At times when he would say he was tired, he did appear that he might be tired.
Did that cause you to question whether you should continue to question him, given the fact that he was tired and it was after midnight?
No, sir. Being tired is not a deal breaker on an interview.
But Godejohn's case was not helped when the jury saw a jailhouse interview he did with a TV reporter while he awaited trial, when he wasn't tired, and also admitted to the murder, describing his deliberations.
The darker part of me was also in love with the darker part of her. And because of it, the thought was, excuse my French, but it basically said, this bitch is dead.
I mean, that kind of throws out the whole low IQ autism thing. He's like, they're trying to use the low IQ autism defense to get around, but like he's cognitive, like he knows what's going on, and he's got this whole other split side called Victor, the 500-year-old, was it Victor? I can't remember. The 500-year-old vampire that likes to unalive. So like that's his dark part, and that part loves to do this stuff. And he just said that that dark part loved the dark side of her. I think that he thinks that he will get a lighter sentence for telling the... Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Mr. Perry, do you have a witness you wish to call?
Gypsy Blanchard, Judge.
Gypsy was called by the defense, not the prosecution. She was to be their star witness, trying to save her prince, starting with a scathing denunciation of her mother.
Why were you in a wheelchair in June of 2015?
Because my mother forced me to be in one.
Was there a time between when you first were put in a wheelchair in June of 2015 that you figured out that you really didn't need to be in a wheelchair?
Yes.
When was that?
I always knew that I didn't need the wheelchair.
And how did you know that?
Because I could walk.
It was testimony the prosecution knew could be a game changer.
We all knew she was somewhat of a sympathetic figure at that point, and there was a concern that would potentially create a situation where a jury may again think that Mr. Godejohn did what he did to save Gypsy from these awful conditions that she was in fact in.
What illnesses did you believe you had?
Cancer, muscular dystrophy.
Jeez.
I needed glasses. I needed hearing aids. Seizure disorder. And I can't remember what else.
And when did you figure out that you weren't actually sick?
I started to piece things together when I was about 19 years old.
Goodness gracious.
Then I didn't understand the full extent of
how healthy I was until after I got arrested.
Why did you not tell doctors that you knew you could walk or you didn't believe yourself to be ill during the time that you were doing this?
I didn't think that anyone would believe me. I thought they would eventually tell my mom, and that would make my home life even worse for me. I feared her more than I feared anyone else.
And Gypsy testified.
Remember, guys, so her and her mom had lied for years, but she was manipulated and lied to for years. Okay, so just going into this, I think she's trying to be truthful, but it also, a lot of people are suggesting that it might have been an act. I don't know. I know that her mom is the core problem of all of this, but the way that they handled it was bad.
And she paid for everything. Thus far.
Do I feel bad for the mom at all? Absolutely not. I just don't.
Motels, even the murder weapon was the knife she stole from Walmart. She also admitted that she, not Godejohn, posted the Facebook messages.
Why would you make that post claiming to be Nick?
I wanted her to be found. I wanted the cops to find her body.
Godejohn stared intently as his one-time girlfriend did her best to save him.
Gosh, it looked like he was looking directly through her. It was, you could tell she was terrified.
When you see the pictures of Gypsy and Dee Dee together, she just looks like a little child, you know, with oftentimes wearing a little hat. And then when you saw her on the stand in Godejohn's murder trial, I mean, she's a woman, definitely a grown-up.
And then finally, the pivotal question from Godejohn's lawyer, Dwayne Perry.
Whose idea was it to kill your mother?
Mine.
Why did you want to kill your mother?
Because I wanted to be free of her hold on me.
And with that, the defense now hoped the jury would see the victim, Dee Dee Blanchard, as the person who should really be on trial.
Yeah. Okay, just real quick in the chat, who thinks the mom's innocent? Who thinks the mom's innocent? I mean, goodness gracious, that mom, with all the torture, and she's got a book. I'm going to read the book, and I'm going to give a review of the book. But there's so much torture. There's a whole documentary on this. I'm going to do like a deep dive into her and do like a, 4 or 5 minute, maybe like a 6 minute long video just on what happened throughout this thing. That way people don't have to sit around for 30, 40 minutes. That's what TikTok's good at. You get a little bit, there you go. But absolutely not innocent. She was guilty. Facts. Belinda, you're awesome. Guilty AF. Facts. Okay, so it's a lot of guilties in the chat because she was. The mom was guilty 100%. But yeah, I don't feel bad for her. Hey, does anybody feel bad for the mom at all? I don't. I've had people in the comments to my TikToks just like, she didn't deserve this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
Now, I have never seen facts quite like this. Autism becomes a big factor here.
The mental capacity issue is really where this lies. So the question is, who's the mastermind?
And it was vital for the defense to show Nicholas Godejohn was not the mastermind. That was the role of their final and only second witness, clinical psychologist Kent Franks.
Have a seat, okay?
He has an autism spectrum disorder. His ability to perceive reality is tenuous. He had a psychotic episode when he was 13 years old and hallucinated and talked about hearing 7 or 8 different kinds of voices.
You just got angry.
More than one person inside me. There's actually multiple personalities of myself.
But it would become a battle of the experts, with the prosecution putting its own clinical psychologist on the stand, Dr. Robert Denny.
Did you find the defendant to be intellectually impaired?
I did not.
And then Dr. Denny used the surveillance footage of Godejohn and Gypsy to bolster his opinion. Godejohn cool when they were told there were not enough seats on the bus they wanted to take back to Wisconsin.
What's striking to me is that he did not blow up. He did not react angry or frustrated or which is something that would be very common with somebody with autism.
and then the interaction between Godejohn and Gypsy.
Because you could see where they got in and out of the cab and would walk in and walk the other way. He would hold the door for her. When they walked by on a sidewalk, he was leading, she was following. It looked very normal to me.
Dr. Denny was the last witness the jury heard, the last word on Nicholas Godejohn's mental capacity.
There's been another obvious presence here throughout this trial.
Prosecutor Nathan Chapman knew it was essential to get the jury's focus off Gypsy and the abuse she suffered at the hands of her mother, the victim.
If we're not careful, there can be a tendency to let Gypsy's narrative overshadow what we're really here to decide. Because all along, flying under the radar, coolly, deliberately, was the defendant, Nicholas Godejohn.
Yeah.
And again, the jury was shown Godejohn's text messages as he planned the murder.
He's not doing anything different than someone else who's planning a murder, taking steps to incapacitate the victim, taking steps in case you're caught to have a story. His mild autism changes nothing about any of the deliberation that you just saw. There's just no other decision than he is guilty of first-degree murder and armed criminal action.
Yeah. I mean...
Thank you very much, Judge.
I mean, facts. Like, there's another thing going on right now in Florida about the person that had the switch taken away from him, and the man nearly beat the teacher to unalivement. However, that person has a severe form of autism, should not have even been in that situation in the first place, and the triggers around that person, especially if somebody of that size and that kind of strength, there was a lot going on, because like a lot of people are like, oh, he beat up his teacher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the severe form of autism that he had, and the trigger of getting something pulled away from you, I mean, it's sometimes it's uncontrollable for people with autism, especially as severe as he has. So now they're going to, oh God. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. It's just bad. But this guy, I think he's using autism almost like a crutch. Sure, he's got it, but it's such a lower form. And he's got schizophrenia. Well, I mean, it sounds like he's got schizophrenia. He can hear other voices. He can hear other parts of him. So, and he doesn't take his medication anymore. Yes, exactly, Belinda. Belinda, hey, W's a chat for Belinda. I'm going to go ahead and follow Belinda.
Let's get one thing straight. Who wanted Claudine Blanchard dead? Who? Gypsy did. Gypsy wanted Claudine Blanchard dead. She is fully capable of deception because that's how she lived her life. She was trained that way by her own mother. Gypsy manipulated Nick, a low-functioning person with autism.
Yeah, they keep harping on that, but he's not. He's not. They keep hoping on the low-functioning person with autism. He really isn't. Even when he was talking on the phone, even in future interviews, he's not low-functioning. The only time he was low-functioning was at trial.
And then Gypsy pressures Nick into committing a homicide.
And this actually makes the rest of the autistic community, because how many people do we run into that even have a slight form? I mean, there's so many people that have autism now. This makes the rest of the community look bad. Yeah, well, it's also ridiculous. It's hilarious and ridiculous.
Against her mother, but he was only trying to help the woman he loved.
All along, it was clear that Godejohn's lawyer, Dwayne Perry, had given up on pushing for a not guilty verdict, but instead wanted the jury to find his client guilty of the lesser charge of second-degree murder.
I believe after all the evidence that you consider, there is reasonable doubt as to his capacity to deliberate first-degree murder. And I believe the appropriate verdict in this case is one of the lesser homicides. Thank you very much for your time.
The facts of the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard were never in dispute. The 17 stab wounds, the knife Gypsy stole for him to use, and Nicholas Godejohn admitting to it on video.
Because, and then the truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her mom. I will admit it.
So the jury was not expected to be out for long.
The main decision that they had to make was if he had the capacity, if Mr. Godejohn had the capacity to deliberate, then he was guilty of first-degree murder. If he did not, then he was guilty.
Thank you for the donations. I just want to stop and say that. Appreciate you all. Seriously, thank you.
Of second-degree murder.
And the difference would mean how long Nicholas Godejohn would go to prison.
A first-degree murder is life without parole. A second-degree murder has a minimum of 10 and also can go up to life, but it's not an automatic sentence. It was all hanging on that decision.
Godejohn had not testified during the trial, but in a sign of optimism, just before the verdict was read, Godejohn told the judge he would abide by the jury's decision on sentencing if he was found guilty of second-degree murder.
And if they find you of a lesser on count one, you are still asking for jury sentencing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have there been any threats made to you to get you to waive that right?
No, sir.
Have there been any promises?
No, sir.
And with that, Nicholas Godejohn was ready to hear the jury's verdict.
Would you pass down the file folders, please?
Which narrative had the jury come to believe? Who was the mastermind?
Gypsy manipulated Nick, a low-functioning person with autism. Whose idea was it to kill your mother?
Mine.
His mild autism changes nothing.
As to count one, we, the jury, find the defendant, Nicholas Godejohn, guilty of murder in the first degree. We assess and declare the punishment for murder in the first degree at imprisonment for life without the possibility of probation or parole.
The autism defense did not work. While Gypsy will be eligible for parole in the next few years, Nicholas will spend the rest of his life behind bars.
And she's out. She's also become America's sweetheart. She was denied going to a Taylor Swift game, or to Travis Kelce game to see Taylor Swift because she's not allowed in Missouri or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember what it was. Or maybe her parole officer. I'd have to rewatch what that was. But now she's incredibly famous. She's got 6 million subs on TikTok. Or millions of subs on YouTube, millions of subs on Instagram. She's got all the subs. She's got all the people. And they all cheer her on because she was terribly abused and she's out. Now, by the way, there are so many people that get terribly abused and then when they get older, they go and get rid of their abuser. This happens. So yeah, she did her time. She's out. And now she is America's sweetheart. So, what do you guys think about this situation? I'm going to go ahead and upload these reactions. Oh, by the way, let's hear a sentence.
The bottom line is he still stabbed an individual, regardless of who it was, 17 times. And he, by the evidence in the trial, enjoyed doing that. And I believe that justice was very much served in keeping him out of the community for as long as we possibly could.
I don't think there is justice in this case.
Yeah, there isn't.
I think that everyone is broken and there is not a way to really put the pieces back together.
A grim ending to what started as an abused child's longing for a Cinderella fairy tale.
It just proves that happy endings are not just in fairy tales, they're real.
Not on this day. Not.
Okay, so he didn't get a happy ending. She actually has got her happy ending now. She's out. People love her. Oh, I love you too, son. What's up, mate?
I'm gonna hang out with Matthew then.
Okay.
So I love you.
I love you. I like your shorts. Where'd you get them?
Oh, I bought these off of for buying my food.
Hey, we saw your flip flops over there at Five Below.
Flip flop?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's awesome. I was gonna get some. No justice in this case. Facts, Belinda. I followed the right person. Belinda's awesome. All right, that's it. I appreciate you all for being here. I'm going to go ahead and upload this on my YT. Please follow me on my YT. If you guys want to see your comments, they'll be there. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Happy New Year's. I'll be on later on doing the NPC stuff because people wanted me to bring that back. I said 2024, I'll do NPC.